After weeks of fierce fighting, anti-Gaddafi fighters have made a breakthrough in their bid to capture the key port city of Sirte. Forces loyal to the National Transitional Government have apparently broken through the last defensive lines of the pro-Gaddafi forces. Let's find out what's going on and bring in Al Jazeera's Tony Birtley joining us on the telephone. Tony, just an update on the fighting going on in Sirte.
Yes, well, the fighters have breached that last wall of defence. There's a ring of about 5 walls around Sirte being built in the last 3 months. They've just gone the last 3 hours through that final wall. They've engaged now in street fighting and they're pushing very close to the city centre. We've got to within about 150 metres from it. There was a strong fire coming back from pro-Gaddafi forces, but surprisingly very few casualties on the side of the anti-Gaddafi forces. They've laid down some fierce fire this afternoon using tanks, multiple rocket launchers and mortars, and that has blitzed the whole area just inside those walls in the southern area. It's part of a three-pronged attack that's going on. Forces from the east are coming in, forces from the west are coming in, and the forces I think from the south, and they've made a lot of progress. Also, we've seen lots of civilians who've been cowering in buildings under the deluge of firepower laid down, and they have been coming out now slowly and being taken away by anti-Gaddafi fighters who are reassuring them that nothing is going to happen to them. They are also taking hold of and arresting young men, some black Africans, who they suspect of being fighters, but who claim are civilians. That's going to be a big problem for the anti-Gaddafi forces, is finding out just who was a fighter and who is a civilian. They're going now street by street, and they've come to a bit of a halt, and sun is about to set here, so I think maybe the positions they have now, about 150 metres from the centre, is probably what they'll hold overnight. And I think Gaddafi forces are holding about 3 small pockets, but they are still resisting, and there's still, as I speak, lots of firepower coming back.
Tony, so it sounds like some significant gains being made by the fighters there. From what you can see and what you can assess, when will Sirte be fully in control of the fighters?
I mean, they were predicting that it would be under their control by the end of the week, and I think it's probably looking like that way now. We were quite surprised how fast their advance went this afternoon. They went through this, I mean, Gaddafi built these 5 huge walls around the city in the last 3 months. They're about 6 metres high and very thick, and that held up the advance. But as soon as that last one went down, they poured in thousands of anti-Gaddafi fighters pouring through with all kinds of weaponry. And I think, you know, the end is nigh now. There's not much time left for Gaddafi's forces in the city. They've got the sea to the back of them, and 3 sides are squeezing them slowly. So it's a matter of time. I think it could be hours, it could be 1 day, maybe 2 days at the most. But I think the end now is in sight. And that means, I think, as far as the NTC is concerned, that the liberation of Libya will be complete, even though there's still one last town, Bani Walid, under Gaddafi control. But I think when this falls, it probably sends a very strong message to those holding out in Bani Walid that their time is up too.
All right, Tony Birtley talking to us from Sirte. Thank you very much, Tony.